back to angles. So hopefully you're not too sick of angles yet because we have many, many more. But this slide also came from Edmentum. We have circle O again. O is still our center of our circle. So we have our central angle, our inscribed angles, and anytime you have an angle, the word I want you to remember here is this is our vertex of that angle. And then we have our vocab word here, this from B to C, that's our arc. And it will be written like the two letters and a little arc sign in front on top of it. So instead of like a line segment with the bar, you have a little arc of a circle. If you want the measure of that arc, here we're naming the arc, but if you want to know the measure, just like you put the M in front of the measure of angle O, well here if we put M of BC, then we'd have the measure of arc BC. And the measure of arc BC is the same thing as the measure of angle O, or BOC if we wanted to name it with all three letters. So a couple things to remember there before we learn our next theorem. The measure of an angle with a vertex inside of a circle is equal to, so like I said, the vertex is inside the circle. It's not, Z is not the center. So this is not a central angle. That's something of importance you need to know. It's just inside the circle somewhere. And this is what happens when you have two chords that intersect. We already know how to find the length of all the segments. So now we're going to say, well, how do I know what the measure of angle Z is equal to? I want to know what the measure of that angle is. So the special formula we have for this is the measure of angle Z is 1/2 of X plus Y. What was the vocab word we just talked about on the previous slide? Where X and Y are arcs. So those will also be angle measures. So let's stick some numbers in here for some little practice with this new theorem. So let's say the measure of the arc length where X is 37 and Y is equal to 51. And we want to know what the measure of angle Z is. So say, well, Z is 1/2, always stays. Well, we just have 37 plus 51. So Z equals 1/2 of 37 plus 51 is 88. Half of 88 is 44. That's me. The number. So there we go. Again, what if it's not that simple, or what if they give you the angle measure and you need to go back and find the arc length? They want you to know, well, what is that arc length? Well, say the measure of angle Z is 74 and Y over here is 59 degrees and X is X plus 3. Now, just set it up the same way again, except we already know the measure of angle Z. So we can just say, well, 74 equals 1/2 x plus 3 plus 59. Now, I don't really like to take 1/2 of x or 1/2 of 3 or 1/2 of 59. I'm going to make a whole lot of fractions there. So instead, we can do our math rules and say if I multiply both sides by 2, then this 1/2 just becomes 1. We have 148 equals x plus 3 plus 59. Combine our like terms. X plus 62. And then we get back to x equals 86. And if you want, make sure if they ask for the arc length, not just what x equals, we go back and plug that in. And unfortunately, it's still big X for the arc length of x. Measure of arc x equals 89. Usually arcs will have 2 letters. This would be like B and C there. So that is our second theorem of the day. Again, pretty straightforward. Just have to remember what this is. Again, write it down, put a little cloud around it, highlight it, write it in different colors, whatever you need. Use your little theorem cheat sheet that we uploaded into Google Classroom or any of the other resources you have to help you remember these things moving forward. All right, so here are some practice problems. This is a point where you can pause your video and try these on your own real quick. See if you can set them up and solve them without my help. Go ahead and do that. And then whenever you are ready or if you get stuck, you're welcome to come back and watch me solve them. The one on the bottom that says challenge, that's for you people that like a challenge and want something with a little bit extra algebra involved. So I will leave that one there for now while I work through these two. And then at the very end, I will switch it over to the next slide and it has that problem worked out for you. So first, number 1 here, this number 1, it's just, I pulled this from another slide that I had from earlier, so I couldn't figure out how to delete that little number 1. This value goes for that angle. 50 is this arc length, and 15x minus 10 is for SR here. So just in case that was tripping you up at all. So for this one, we do need to remember our theorem. Just going to use the letters from the previous. Measure of angle Z equals 1/2 of x plus y. So 8x plus 15 is the measure of my angle, and that equals 1/2 of the sum of the 2 arcs. So 1/2, and I'm going to say 15x minus 10 plus 50. Again, having this 15 be an odd number here, I don't want to do 1/2, so I'm going to go ahead and just multiply this side by 2. That makes that 1/2 become a 1. Then we don't have to worry about it. We're left with 15x. And then negative 10 plus 50 is positive 40. Combine like terms here. Let's subtract 15 from both sides. That leaves just an x over here. Subtract 30 from both sides. That equals 10. Handwriting is so fun. All right. Been a little while since we've seen our intersecting chords. So we have our two intersecting chords, and now we're looking for their segment lengths. Remember, what was our theorem for that one? That's our A times B equals C times D. All right, so we have 9 times 20 equals 10 times x. 9 times 20 is our favorite number, 180 equals 10x. Divide both sides by 10, and we have 18 equals x. Oh, I'm shaking. So hopefully you have become a pro at these two theorems. That is all I have for you today. I will flip the side in just a minute for the solution to the super duper challenge problem at the bottom. I do ask you try it. It is fun. It does pose a little bit extra math in there. And then don't forget to go back to Edmentum to finish up the tutorial and any other things on the hyperdeck that your teacher would like you to complete. Thank you very much, and I will hopefully see you soon. Stay well, stay safe. We miss you. There you go. That's that one. Oh, I love algebra. All right. Have a wonderful day, math people. If you need anything, don't forget to email your teacher or join us on our Monday morning Google Meet sessions. Link is posted in Google Classroom 10 minutes before meet time.